Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of Reddit League. We are in Argentina for our map this week, and we have a great Division 3 matchup for you between a longtime Reddit League member, HugoCL, and a recent newcomer. He's been with us for a few seasons, PastèqueHachée. I am Zatomo, and my co-caster today is M the Baseman. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Argentina, I'll be honest with you, Baseman is not one of my favorite maps to play. So if anything, I'm looking forward to see how these two can do on the map. Maybe they can teach me a thing or two.
I share that sentiment. I'm not a fan of this Argentina map. I'm not a fan of AI generated maps in general, but combined with Argentina, which is already super rural, uh, yeah, it's gonna maybe be the most luck-based map in the set we have this season. So yeah, we'll have to see how these guys are gonna deal with it.
Definitely. Yeah, you can see it is an AI generated map, which means all the locations are picked by the computer. So they're not kind at all. And definitely you can see how hard this map is. Average score just above 10,000. Hasn't even been played 1,000 times yet. I don't think many people practice this one a whole lot. I think I knew some people who practiced Argentina for this week use different maps and just hope that some of the locations in this one will be a little bit nicer. But plenty of locations in this one, over 50,000. So, yeah, any guess who might come out on top on this one?
Well, Hugo lost his last two games, while Pastek had one win, one draw, one loss. So you would say, I guess Pastek's in better form. I don't know which week it was that he lost, but both still have anything to play for. And considering that Pastek was in relegation danger last time, I don't know if Hugo was. I don't think he ended up very high as well. So this could be a good chance for either of them to get a bit out of that relegation area.
Indeed. Okay, well then let us jump right in then to round number 1 and see how they do. We have the benefit of Pastek's webcam as well, so we'll get to see his reactions, which is always nice. But yeah, this is what we would expect from an AI generated map in Argentina. Dirt road, straight.
Yeah, this is probably what you're gonna see a lot in this week for Argentina casts. Just a warning, but
They are heading in
yeah,
opposite directions, so that is good for us as commentators because we get to see two different things. We're not going to watch the same empty screens for 3.5 minutes, but
yeah, we get to see other trees on the one side of the screen, and
so on,
yeah,
on roads like this, how long do you stick it out? Like, do you only go one direction the entire time? As there's a small sign for Pastek, not a whole lot on it.
it depends for me. Like in these kind of dirt roads, I don't think I'll find anything anyway, so I'm just gonna stick to one. But if it's like a paved road with road number, like on the side on the kilometer marker, then I might. But it's also risky because you might miss out on clues if you keep going. So it's always a risk no matter which choice you make. So
Yeah,
I
you
don't really
never
go
know.
one way in that. Well, figuratively speaking.
Hugo, though, throwing us down in sort of the northern part of the country.
Yeah, the north is a bit more green, like with trees and stuff. While like the more south you go, the lesser that becomes. So not an unreasonable plonk there for now from Hugo.
Yep, just hedging his bet so far. Yeah, if pro Geoguessr players get any sort of injury, it will be carpal tunnel from rounds like this. Just clicking for a couple minutes straight.
One trick you could use is that if you are on a dirt road and you see like the dirt coming from the car, it means it came from that way. So you might want to go that way in the hope that you might end up on a bigger road that the Google card turned off too. But that too is not always a guarantee.
Yeah, it could, and also if you only have a few minutes, it might have been so long ago you won't be able to reach that road. But it looks as though Hugo has reached some sort of thing. We do have a little bit of a town name, and yeah, we're in Argentina.
Yeah, Enrique Orien is the name of the town. Not like that's probably the best you'll get. I'm not sure if Pastek turned around here. I think he did because he's gone into town now too.
Yeah, he's into the same town. So somewhere along the way, he turned around. Hard to tell when we're just seeing a straight road. And they are using different compasses, which is confusing my brain because I'm trying to read what direction they're heading, and it's not the same image.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of the compass Pastek's using.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like lining up yourself to a road, it might be better, but I don't know. I'm a bit of an old school guy who just likes the compass.
Yeah, so pretty much just a plunk for both of them, and unfortunately for Pastek, it will be a much luckier guess for Hugo. 3,355 to only 457 for Pastek. But yeah, pretty much of a clear guess outside of the kind of geography of the area. But hey, it's Argentina. It can turn around like this in one round. So don't count Pastek out quite yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed for Pastek guessed because the Buenos Aires province is not as filled with trees. Like it's a bit greeny, but not as full of trees as the north is. So Hugo definitely went. I mean, of course he got the better guess, but his instinct was way better in this round.
It is worth mentioning that Hugo is from Chile, so he's not Argentinian, but he does come from a country pretty doggone close. So that if he knows anything about his neighbor in the world, it might help him a little bit in this one. As we'll jump into round number 2. And yeah, this is not too bad in terms of Argentinian dirt roads. We're a bit more in the mountains, which at least helps us in the east-west direction.
I mean, sure, it helps in the east-west direction, but it can be very hard to guess on that long stretch of the Andes where you are. I usually pay a bit attention to the vegetation, how many vegetation there is. So I would guess this is a bit middle central-ish, but yeah, the mountains definitely help.
Yeah, I don't think we're that far south, but other than being in the north half of the country, I don't know if we can make a whole lot of claims quite yet.
Yeah, both going downhill.
Yeah,
of course.
They're both headed in the same direction.
Oh, it should be noted is that the mountain we see is to our west. Well, usually the Andes, east. I'm confusing compass directions. And to our west is relatively flat, like in the distance, maybe some mountains, but so that could help too. That we're like in between some valley of some sort.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can see quite a ways in the distance, so it's quite a big valley in between some mountains, so... Good thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would call that, like, until what length constitutes a valley. Yeah, I'm not an expert on that.
Oh, there we go. But
oh my god, that looks so... A paved road that looks so good. And it's back in Pastek screen.
What was crazy was there's a guy on a bike out there. Like, we got to be close to something because he's on a bike, but...
I don't know.
Yeah.
Argentinians could be crazy folk for all we know.
One tough guy riding a bike that far out in the middle of nowhere. So now Pastek turned south when he hit that road. Let's see if Hugo will make a similar decision.
He will also go south. No, never mind.
I think he wants to look at this sign. Let's see if he continues down that way or if he'll go back north. Oh, he does turn around. Head north,
he maybe just wanted to see the sign and decide I will go north.
Yeah, so now the best thing you're hoping for now is a little road sign marker. Black at the top, white at the bottom. Usually has some kind of road number on them.
Yeah, you won't always get lucky, even if there's a kilometer marker. Sometimes they just say KM instead of the road numbers. So
I had some of those, and not happy about that.
yeah, Pastek has his pin around where I maybe would put it, bit north of Mendoza.
Yeah, got a bit of only about 30 seconds left to go. Oh, there's a town name, San Miguel, but
question is if he's gonna find that on the map.
Yeah, is that even
20 seconds left?
Yeah. Yeah, with a few seconds left, pretty much Hugo just throws us down somewhere in a bit further north than I think than where Pastek has it. He's zooming.
Yeah, he's a bit more north.
And oh my word, Hugo!
Wow.
Either he saw something or that's just a great guess in that valley down in there. 4,839. The South American boy definitely cleaning up in this one so far. Not a bad guess from Pastek, 2,834, but that gap just keeps getting bigger. It can turn around, but oh boy, that's it's getting a bit big.
I didn't quite see if Hugo saw something that made him go there. Maybe it was just on the Google map. He saw a mountain chain to the east. It was like, oh, this could be the mountain I saw.
Yeah.
And it could just be an insane plonk.
Yeah.
Feel free to elaborate on that, Hugo, if you're watching this.
Yeah, as far as I know, it looked like he was just traveling, noticed he only had about a few seconds left, and just made a good kind of general rough guess and said, yeah, there's some mountains here, there's some mountains there, where dry desert go in the middle, and got quite lucky with that. We'll get into round number 3 then. And, well, at least we got a road number, RN34 on this one. Our first paved road of the session.
It helps to know the road number, but if I recall correctly, road number 34 is very long.
Oh.
So that won't help you necessarily, but it narrows down somewhat, at least.
Yep. And Hugo's already got it, so he knows where that is. Just got to figure out where along the road. Pastek heading south, but so is Hugo. So we're going to... No difference in information quite yet. An 11 area code. That might help.
I've looked up area codes for Argentina, or like phone codes, and there wasn't really anything I could have found of that other than that big cities have like 6 digits, like towns have 7 digits, and rural areas or something have 8 digits, something like that, but I'm not sure about that. But it's not very helpful either case, unless I missed something.
Pastek did get some town names. There they are again, as he checks his road direction.
Yeah, I did miss which towns he saw.
One was Tucumán. I couldn't quite catch the other. So that's a pretty major town that stands out.
Yeah, that definitely helps. And consider they're on road 34.
Yeah.
They're definitely owning in on it.
There we go. There's some town names for Hugo as well. He's going to start to scan for them.
Yeah, he's just checking in between those towns, if you can find them.
There's that control point he just spotted. Don't know if that's the right control point, but...
Yeah, I was never quite sure about, like, border controls of provinces. Sometimes they were there, sometimes not. Maybe only on the white shield roads.
But at least this round's got some nice scenery to see, signs, cars, other signs.
It's a bit more active.
Yeah, so definitely more interesting for all of us at home watching along. Yeah, I think he's pretty close to the right area. Some of those town names seem to line up. Pozo Hondo.
Did Pastek just see the signs a while ago and just not really do anything with it?
I mean, those big city names in the distance didn't really have any. There was no distance on them, so you didn't really quite sure how far away they were.
Yeah, but you could at least look for the like smaller town maybe. Although of course, you don't know how close
but he is.
that is from there.
He's not too far off. He is close to the province border, which is where Hugo has us as well. So they've taken very different routes to get there, but their pins I don't think are too far apart.
Yeah, Pastek just looked at the road direction, was like, okay, yeah, this should be about right.
Yeah, this long, straight north-south part of the road is sort of unique. I think he's hoping at least.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to tell, but I think he's pretty confident about this.
Yep, and yeah, that's not too bad. 4,970 as Hugo will wrap up with 4,734. So he will actually claw a few 100 points back on his opponent on that one. Yeah, just really putting to use the little information he had. Hugo getting a bit confused with the better information. But yeah, it's not going to change the outcome of this match too much quite yet.
Yeah, Hugo still got close enough, and like 200 points in Argentina on this map isn't really anything significant. Hugo hasn't really said that much of a foot wrong so far, so you'll have to, like Pastek will have to hope for a super rural round where that Hugo might screw up on. But considering his guess in round 2, I'm not sure how likely that is to happen.
Yeah, he does need quite a big drop in order to try to climb back into this one. We've only got 2 more rounds to go, so let's see what round 4 has in store for us. And we're on a paved road on the outskirts of a city, so not looking too bad. Oh, San Luis, that's a town of some size.
That's a good clue. San Luis is a province, so maybe like the town of Colón y Junín or something, or maybe a suburb of San Luis. Could also be the case.
Yep, and looks like Pastek definitely knows where that is. Jumps right to it. And there's San Luis all over the place. And,
yeah, so Hugo should zoom in on San Luis there. I'm not sure why he's looking up north.
He expects it to be a little bit further north than it actually is, but
there it is.
Yeah, there we go. He'll get there eventually. So both of them in the same area right now. So I don't see, as long as they guess in this sort of area, I don't see Pastek claiming too many points back, which will mean round 5 will be all that more important.
Yeah, it's this isn't an ideal round for Pastek, considering there's actually clues on this one. And Hugo's going the right way, actually, with these signs, which can really help, because it says San Luis Centro, which means he's not far from San Luis.
And there's also the airport. So
that'll
help him. So he knows that you go through the center of the city to get to the airport, which means you could do a bit of triangulation there and just say, well, go on the opposite end of town of the airport. Would be a pretty good guess.
Yeah, I think Hugo's about to head to a roundabout, which could also help. A roundabout of some sorts.
Yeah, very nice intersection.
Yeah, Pastek's heading out of town, which is not the best idea. But I can't see, like, at the starting point, does it look like you're heading into a very big city necessarily?
Yeah, the 147.
Yeah, that won't help his chances.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a debate. Like, if you go out of town, you might pick up some road numbers and distances to other towns, which can help you. But, you know.
He does say find municipalidades something. I can't read it.
The small little neighborhood nearby.
Yeah, I think he found a town, Guanacaste something.
Yeah.
There's a bend that they started on, which Pastek is close to, I think.
Under a minute now, and neither of them really to that pinpointing stage quite yet. It's still
Pastek's getting there. He's just debating which road he's on. I think
Yeah.
he's on the right road now.
Yeah, but he's going way too close to the airport in the central of the city. He needs to be further away. It's like 10 kilometers. That's
Oh, Hugo, you mean?
yeah, Hugo.
Yeah, he's
I think
not.
he's getting there because he's slowly moving east, but I think he's going to run out of time before he actually gets a decent point. And yeah, Pashek has moved us actually outside into one of the neighboring cities, and just going to call that good as time run out. And unfortunately, well, actually, it's actually almost exactly the same points. They're equally distant away in opposite directions from each other. 4,969 for Hugo, Pastek 4,946. So, yeah, I guess Hugo didn't realize we were that far east, and Pastek didn't realize we were that far west.
Yeah, but a bit of a Pastek I can't blame necessarily because he got the worse of the clues of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Hugo should have done more of that. But points wise, it doesn't really matter. He even gained a small lead over Pastek this round. So
that means we are down to our final round, and as we jump in, we'll look at those total scores. 17,897 for Hugo, 13,207 for Pastek. So we are just on. No, are we outside of 5,000?
No.
We're just inside. Just inside.
Pastek he could still overtake Hugo, but you would have to have a massive stinker this round. So I'm not sure if it's realistic to.
Yeah,
I think you can come back to this.
Yeah, the thing is, this kind of dryness with like no vegetation, we're gonna be south, and so that means you're gonna maybe get at least 2,000 points. Oh, and
Not
there's
sure.
a road number.
Okay, have we?
That'll definitely help. The 26.
It should be quite south there. Yeah, I was still debating on how far south this was going to be. I'm very bad at guessing that, but yeah, it seems reasonable that it's about this level.
Yeah, for me, it's like I know we're in the southern half of the country. That's about it. So
yeah, basically that. Yeah.
But that 26 definitely going to help out if you can find it. That is.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a tough time finding it. He's looking too north now, I think.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, if he does find it, it's not that long of a road. So, as long as he gets on it, he won't be dropping enough points for Pastek to come back. But he's got to find it in the first place.
I mean, he definitely should be looking south because the 20s roads are basically all in that southern half, like you said.
Yeah, he saw 260, which should give him a clue that he should be looking around that area.
I thought he saw the 26.
I thought he was right there.
I'm not sure if I couldn't read exactly if that was the 26. It looked like it.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he just went.
Why is he looking there?
Right over it. That's strange. In the meantime, Pastek, I think, has not even caught a glimpse of one of those little kilometer markers. If he has, he hasn't paid much attention to it.
Yeah, I went the opposite direction.
There we go. Just as I say that, yeah. Caster's curse.
Yeah, that's what you call it, like the Caster's curse. Yeah, I went this way Hugo did, and I think I even 5K this round with a bit of luck, but it's definitely a findable round.
There it is. There we go. Oh,
you got it.
And what do you know? Pastek finds it in the exact same time, and he had that information for like a whole minute and a half less than Hugo. But hey, as long as you get there in the end, that's all that matters. So,
yep.
Neither of them, unfortunately, for Pastek, going to be dropping a whole lot of points on this one, which means that almost 5,000 point gap he's going to make up here, all but impossible. There could be a random spasm click by Hugo that sends him off into Australia, but barring that,
not expecting it at this point.
We'll be looking for Hugo to pick up a win in his home continent, which I'm sure he'll be happy about.
Yeah, it's always good when you win in a round in a map like Argentina where you need a bit of luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4,792 for Hugo, 4,957 for Pastèque. So yeah, and the baseman Pastèque taking a couple rounds off of Hugo, but it's the rounds that Hugo wins, that huge margin, which sees him clinch the win in this one. We can bring up their final scores here. 22,689 for him. And Pastèque 18,164. So quite a significant gap for Hugo. So not only a win for him, but very nice in that score differential as well.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds definitely decided this game, because round 3, 4, and 5 both were around the right area, but it was that insane plonk in round 2 from Hugo, and the round 1 where Hugo's hedge was just much better than Pastèque's was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that in the end decided it.
Yeah, if we look at their stats after this one, we can see that they're pretty close. Actually, Pastèque has been having the better season so far in terms of average score and highest score. Even Aces doing quite well. But unfortunately for him, he has not been able to turn those into points and position on the table. Hugo sitting in 7th, 2 positions above him in 9th. Hugo is now 50, 500 on this one, 2 and 2. Pastèque, after having collected one of each in the opening 3 weeks, draw, win, and loss, picks up his second loss of the season. So pretty good for Hugo. First win in a couple weeks after getting his win in week 1.
Yeah, Pastèque shouldn't. I can't find the right English word for this, but he shouldn't feel bad about this, because I think before this he's been having a good season, considering that last time he had a really tough time, and now he seems to pick up the pace a bit. So let's hope for him this won't drop his confidence a little too much. And for Hugo, yeah, of course, very nice win to keep him a bit in mid-table now. So yeah, I think both are just hoping to get into that mid-table, and I think both should still be able to do that. Just that.
Yeah, these two have flirted with that relegation area for the last couple of seasons, and they will be looking to just avoid that, if not get a chance at promotion this season in Division 3. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Division 3 cast. We sure did. Yeah, pretty much what we would expect from Argentina. Some dusty dirt roads and some pretty barren scenery, but there were a few interesting rounds thrown in there with some mountain views and a few interesting locations and signs. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you all next time. Take care.
See ya.